Hello there and welcome to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. It is and always will be absolutely free. And in this video we're going to be asking this question: how do you plant and grow the absolutely exquisite Magnolia Soulangeana? So, Magnolia Soulangeana, it is not a species, it is indeed a hybrid, and you can tell that because in the name you have the genus Magnolia and the hybrid name Soulangeana with a cross in between the middle of them, denoting the hybrid. It is a hybrid that was produced in 1820 by the retired cavalry officer Etienne Soulange Baudin.
But of course, I really love those flowers.
So the parents of the Soulangeana hybrid are Magnolia liliiflora and Magnolia denudata. The denudata part is interesting because that denotes that the magnolia flowers when the branches are denuded of leaves, so effectively naked flowering. It is classed as a deciduous, multi-stem, large shrub or small tree, commonly known as the Saucer Magnolia, the Tulip Tree, don't confuse that with the Liriodendron, or the Chinese Magnolia. But remember, this is a hybrid from France, so it's not Chinese, although both the parents, as mentioned earlier, they are Chinese. Now, not only do you have the original Soulangeana hybrid, there are indeed an additional at least 100 other cultivars that have been produced over the past century, 3 of which have received the Award of Garden Merit from the Royal Horticultural Society. Now, plants which are hybrids often show something that is known as hybrid vigour, and this is expressed with the Soulangeana with regards to its size, which it can be quite a large plant, up to 8 meters tall, but also in its cold hardiness. Now, with regards to the Soulangeana, it will tolerate temperatures down to an absolutely fantastic -15 down to -20 degrees Celsius. An absolutely bulletproof plant. And this explains why it is such a popular choice and is indeed the most widely planted magnolia in England and also in America.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
Site your Soulangeana in either full sun or semi-shade. But remember, this is a plant that can get absolutely enormous. It can grow to between 4 to 8 meters tall. And this creates a problem. If you're planting your plant in a small front garden or a suburban garden, give it time and it can completely dominate the entire garden, throwing an awful amount of shade and making it difficult to grow anything else in there. So when you are buying Magnolia Soulangeana, take care to make sure that you've got the space to accommodate it, otherwise it can be a bit of a thug. However, there is some good news because Magnolia Soulangeana does take extremely well to a heavy prune. So if you find that it is getting far too large for your garden and you can't get rid of it, then giving it a good chop back is a great way to deal with its ridiculous growth. Just one thing to note is when you are trimming, pruning, cutting, or just lopping off your Magnolia Soulangeana, do so between midsummer and early autumn, because at that point of the year the plant is dormant. If you cut it out other times of the year, you get sort of heavy sap being released from the trunk, which isn't very good for the plant, can stress it, can cause problems, may reduce flowering in the spring. Regarding soil types, Magnolia Soulangeana will perform best in a free draining soil, so avoid low-lying areas and areas prone to waterlogging. You can mix in a load of compost. Quite often magnolias are lumped together with all the other ericaceous plants, but magnolias aren't from the Ericaceae family, they are from the Magnoliaceae family. And while indeed many magnolias will need to be planted in a acidic soil, acidic compost, in order to make sure it can take up certain nutrients like iron and magnesium, the Magnolia Soulangeana will actually tolerate neutral soils. Certainly you can't plant it into alkaline soils, that won't do it any good, but acidic to neutral soils, absolutely perfect. And it's because it can tolerate these neutral soils that makes it such a popular choice. Oh, and one more thing, those massive blooms that they produce, some of those flowers get to almost the span of my hand, I think up to about 8 inches wide. Now they flower early, they flower around end of February, beginning of March, depending on the weather. And one thing you need to know is that these blooms can be damaged by frost, they can be damaged by cold, wet, freezing conditions. So when you are deciding where to plant your Magnolia Soulangeana, try to find somewhere that is not exposed, somewhere that is a little bit protected away from strong winds, away from heavy frosts, if you can. It's not always possible. And there you have it. That is what you need to know in order to plant and grow your lovely Magnolia Soulangeana. And if there's anything you would like to add, we would welcome it. Just put those in the comments section. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. You're still there. Well, okay, because you've been so good in watching this video all the way to the end, I've got 2 rather interesting facts for you regarding magnolias. The first is this: the family Magnoliaceae is so old it dates back to 95 million years ago, where fossils of precursor magnolias have been found. 95 million years. The second one is this: although it's a flowering plant, it is one of the earliest flowering plants. And because it's so early, the flowers actually predate the evolution of bees, if you believe such things. Charles Darwin. So they weren't designed to be bee pollinated, they were indeed believed to be beetle pollinated. So there you go. 2 amazing facts. I don't know how I keep them all in there. But literally there is nothing else going on in there. Anyway, Gardener's World, don't forget to DM me. You're not going to, are you?